Hello and welcome to my custom level design breakdown. Gameplay will be included in the second half. Due to how it will function, it will cut off most of the view of the map. I will be just limited to that. So, to begin, this is based in Starcraft 2 and designed in Starcraft 2. Now, Starcraft 2's map editor had a distinct function where I could split the map in two symmetrically, hence why everything is near enough symmetrical, apart from the props they've been placed individually. So, to begin, we'll start in the player 1 spawn location. Now, as you can see by the rough hologram of a base, the player will spawn here. This will be their main operation center at the start. Through Starcraft 2's resource node function, I'll explain that briefly, players can gather two resources, either geyser gas or minerals. Now, by default, the player should start with some drones going for the minerals. And following Starcraft 2's basic layout, minerals should dot the headquarters, as I've done here. In every resource area as well, there's always, and I mean always, two geyser nodes available. These indicate an optimal location for a base, which I will get into later, as that plays a very key feature in StarCraft. So, the idea is the player spawns here in a safe area. All this red means the player cannot access anywhere else, like the AI cannot move there. It destroys their pathing if they even dare to try go there. This was thoroughly tested on with some air AI, land AI, due to the bot somehow making their way along this wall and then straight into my base. So I immediately had to go. So once the player has a startup base, they have ample area to expand. Each building, say, is the size of one geyser or an outpost here. So they have ample space to build a starter base, as building your starter base and resources is a very important function in StarCraft. Moving on to the second area here, we have a safe-ish area still within the player's borders. Is indicated by the graphs to say it's like a welcoming, safe-ish area. I use ish loosely because this can still be attacked by enemies, as can all the base. Now, this starting area offers the player the chance to expand. StarCraft 2 has a few key functions. One of them is outposts. These have to be built further and further into the map. This kind of forces players closer together. Sorry, I can't see my hand signals. This forces players closer together and eventually they have to meet, as over time these resources will die out and drain. There'll be nothing left here, they have to move forward, nothing left here, move forwards, and so on and so on. So, this gives them ample opportunity to expand early on and delay that collapse, as I'm going to call it. So, as I will try to show in gameplay, a base can be structured here and here, optimal gameplay places or base locations. Now, as we move on, you can see the grass disappear and it turns to a concrete shade. This shows that you are now in the middle of, like, say, a no man's land. No one claims this territory at the start. So again, optimal base locations. This is to fuel the player moving forward. If there was no, say, that didn't exist, the player would have to find another one and they could potentially stagnate. That can be a major blow to a high-end army that requires a lot of resources. If you lose that, you're going to be all the way back to square one. So it's been designed to have, I guess you could call them checkpoints for bases. Each player will have this opportunity, as you can see. Now I've used the path design similar to a TF2 subject used. VTF2 subject used, sorry. Players will be able to pick between the short path, which is also the most dangerous, as most units will not be able to cross that and will be subjected to lots of fire from the enemy. The long path round here rewards them with a lot of resources and open space, and the medium path up here, less resources but a little faster. So the players have one of 3 routes to decide from. Now either player might choose, say, player 2 will go to medium and player 1 will go over long. Either way, their bases will suffer attacks from each other, forcing engagement. This is to make sure players do not go without each other the rest of the match. After all, their entire objective is to destroy each other. Furthermore, as the bases decay, as I said, the players will be forced to move inwards, so the map is designed to facilitate this. They can expand around the edges, either way, or if they're feeling risky, they can expand inwards. Either way, after a certain period of time, they will be forced to expand inwards. And if they have played around the edges, they will be forced to fight in the middle over the most powerful resources. These offer, I believe it's 2 times more than the rest of the resources on the map. These special ones indicated by their colours. So these will be a high interest or point of interest to fight over, therefore causing player engagement and focus if they are an experienced Starcraft player. If not, then different colours must mean better things in basic player logic. This is designed to also accommodate different fighting types. Now Starcraft 2 features land and air with a variety of both. So land have melee, ranged, artillery and heavy units. So to accommodate that, we have raised ledges for range and artillery units. We have easy way up to these ledges for large groups for melee units. And we also have ample spaces similar to this, and this for heavy units, big units that can't fit up, say, a small ramp like that. Now for air units, they are free to peruse the battlefield. The enemy will have to outfit their troops with anti-air to keep them away. We have ample spaces again to put anti-air to keep them away, form a protective border of sorts. This will keep the player's main area safe. As a design for most Starcraft, you want your start area to be protected. If you lose your starting base, then you're in trouble, because you'll be reduced to one of your outposts around the map. You'll be disorganized and at a disadvantage, so to speak. Now we can try and begin the testing phase. This may take a little while, so bear with me. Starcraft 2's editor is not the most responsive. Okay, so hello and welcome to my gameplay demonstration of my Starcraft 2 map. I will have to keep this brief, as for some reason after I go over a certain time it doesn't like me recording anymore. It just kind of glitches out and that renders the entire recording session inoperable and useless. So I will keep it brief and try to show you what I can. So we have the starting spawn area here. As explained in the previous part, this is an optimal spawn location. The player will use automatically these resources around. The mineral field will be taken by bots. Now as I'm playing, all factions will be able to do this, sorry. They will be able to, where is it? Here. Be able to take these 2 spots and build resources on these as well. This will provide them with the basic resources that they need to begin an army. Now you can't really see much here. This is literally how far out I can zoom, so I'll try and navigate through this. We have a fast path through there, though it's much smaller when played through it. And outside, as said, we have our 2 main optimal static outposts. Spawn here, or building there, oh god. Building there, sorry. And building here. This will allow, if I demonstrate now, just arrow in the butt. Or if you give me about 10 seconds, I should have enough. There we go. So if I just build a base out here, the player will be able to gather these resources, and voila, they've already begun their expansion. Now, as said before in the mechanics reveal, or the mechanics description, sorry, these bases are placed in optimal locations not to disrupt combat, but to allow the player to expand. They won't be in the path of anyone, they'll have to find them. As you can see, this one's building now. This, again, may be a bit short of a gameplay review, as there isn't much to review, and if I go past a certain point, it'll just become inoperable. So on the point of the player has much space to build at the start, I can already start building with the units given here. A little base for the player. It gives them enough room to use here. Meaning they don't have to expand at the start, they have a safe area to begin. It mitigates the risk as there's only two ways in, and the player can easily defend that with some troops built from the first place. Okay. Now let me grab another one. The AI cannot access the walls as shown earlier, and described earlier, sorry. They cannot go out there, they cannot go on the walls. It just destroys their pathing. Now I won't be able to show you a full match, as they usually take around half an hour. And given the time frame I can operate on with this software, it's already cutting it quite close. So as you can see, resources can be gathered at these new optimal outposts, and that is how player expansion begins. I don't see any resources running low at the minute, but these will begin to drain eventually, forcing the player to go out. No matter where their bases are, they will share a combined resource count. So you can harvest here and it will still go to it, meaning this base will not become desolate after these resources have run out. They will just serve a different purpose, like a troop spawn or something. So again, we have more spaces here, more base locations there, a good one there. The enemy is down here, the exact same layout as us. So from the previous game that didn't record, they had base locations set up mainly around this area, this rectangle here, if you can see. Usually the enemy will send scouting parties, but I believe my software is going to cut out in a second. So, thank you for watching. I'm sorry there isn't much more to show. This is mainly the gameplay features. You expand, you fight, and then you conquer the enemy down there. That is mainly Starcraft 2's way of doing things. So thank you for watching. This is Alex Sherman, S011859M, and most of this has been explained in the details breakdown, so thank you for watching. I've got to cut it off now before I lose it.